Hey, it's Brian at the Anchor Group. Pay attention. What we're going to cover today may save you from having to pay commission twice on a property you're going to buy. So, big changes in the world of real estate. We're going to cover three things today. First, I want to walk you through the document behind me in very quick terms, but save you, most importantly, from potentially owing two commissions on your next purchase. Then I'm going to give you a quick, maybe a little more than quick market update. And then I will go deeper into the new rules of real estate, what has changed. So, first and foremost, the document behind me, New Jersey Exclusive Buyer Agency Agreement. You may have heard about the pending lawsuit settlement with the National Association of Realtors that goes into effect this Saturday, August 17th, for the entire country. Well, New Jersey preempted that with its own law that went into effect August 1st. So we've already been doing this for 2 weeks. This document behind me is an exclusive buyer agency agreement. Essentially, you have to sign one of these before we can show you a property. Now, there's a couple of key fields that you need to be aware of, and here's why. Say you walk into an open house and you get talking to the agent in the open house, they can legally answer questions that are factual. For example, what year was the home built? How old is the roof? What is the asking price? How many bedrooms? How many baths? They can answer that. It is illegal for them to answer questions that are subjective. What do you think the seller would take? What do you think about the market? Are prices going to continue to rise? Do you know of anything down the street that might be coming on the market soon? All those things are subjective. And as I understand it, you need to sign a buyer agency agreement before they can answer those. So, what a lot of agents may be doing is asking you to sign one of these while you are in an open house. Here's the important part. There are two fields that really matter to you in this document, really three, but two. The first one, what geography you're contracting with that agent for. So you could say Ocean City, New Jersey, Cape May County, New Jersey. You could say 12345 Asbury Avenue, New Jersey. If you're meeting with somebody for the first time who you don't know, I would suggest you put in the address specifically of that property so that they are only your agent to represent you on that property. But if you leave that blank, it's the entire state of New Jersey. The next part says a length of time, a term. So you could sign an agreement where, okay, Brian Logue is going to take you through this property today. And if you buy this property, Brian is your agent for that property for the next 7 days. That's the logical way to do it in the beginning. But if you put that in there for 6 months and you don't fill in a geography and you decide to buy a new home in Haddonfield, New Jersey in 3 months, guess what? The agent who you used in Haddonfield, they're going to get paid a commission, a fee. Furthermore, the agent who you signed this document and didn't realize what you signed, they have a claim to a second commission. So what we're trying to avoid here is you paying two commissions on a property. So you want to be very specific in that first part about the geography. Now, hey, if you've been referred to us or you've worked with us in the past, then of course you know we're going to take great care of you, and you can fill out this document with whatever geography you like: Cape May County, Atlantic County, Ocean City, New Jersey, whatever it might be. And you're going to work with us for the next 30, 60, 90, 180 days, whatever it is. That is easy. It's for those situations where you don't know who you're dealing with yet that you need to be aware of this. And that is how you avoid owing two commissions. Talk more about this in the second half of the video, but let's move on to the market update. So active listings at this time, 206 active listings in Ocean City. That is way down from where we've been. If you've been paying attention all year long, we've been 240, 260, 280. We haven't hit 300, but we haven't gone below about 220. Right now, 206. So that's the lowest inventory I think we've probably had all year. Now, this time of year, we do see a little dip in the inventory because not as many properties come on the market, yet properties are still being sold. But that is a surprise. We did not anticipate that. So if we look at the market as a whole in terms of sale numbers, and we say all property types, well, it's a little flat. But what you'll see is it really depends on the property type, property location, property price, property price range, etc. So, for example, all properties sold this year, 328 units through the end of July. That's down 20% over last year. No surprise there. Average sale price, 1.25 million. That's up 1.9%. Very modest. Median sale price is flat. Very modest. However, if we really drill down into different property types, for example, single family, 76 have sold so far this year. That's down 25% over last year. However, the average sale price was up 17.8%, the median sale price up 12.2%. So the single family world prices continue to rise at a significant rate if you look at this on average. Now, it's only 76 properties. It's not a large sampling, but that's what we're seeing there. Now, meanwhile, condos, if I drill down to condos, 2 bedrooms and above, so we're eliminating the condo tels and the 1 bedrooms, so just 2 bedrooms and above. Well, now, number of units sold is down 15%. Average sale price was up 7.9% over the first 7 months of last year. And the median sale price was up 3.2% over the first 7 months of last year. So, point being, it's very specific to the property type, to your search, geography, everything that's involved there. So, if you're in the market and you want to understand, or you want to understand how the values of your property have been affected, reach out to me direct. It's a case by case basis, but we'll guide you accordingly. All right, going back into the new rules of real estate, and I'll try to be brief, but I know this is a very long topic. Um, the law went into effect August 1st, which preempted the NAR, National Association of Realtors settlement. Essentially, what it says is a few key things. First, buyer agency, what we described earlier. So this document is required. What it spells out, not only the geography and the length of time that you're choosing to work with that agent, it also explains out what our obligations are to you, our fiduciary obligation to you, your obligations to us, and what the commission rate would be. That ties into the next part. So, meaning that our fee, it could be a flat fee, it could be a percentage, is disclosed on this document. And what you have in there is a part where you say, if the seller is not paying the fee, as has been the tradition for the past 50 years of real estate, then I, the buyer, may choose to pay that fee. And then there's a lot more that gets into it, and the agent can walk you through it. But to be clear, this is complex. This is a 5-page document. Believe it or not, this is all there to protect the consumer, because I'm sure based on this, you feel a lot better that you are being represented, because you might walk into an open house and sign something you don't know and then owe 2 commissions, but somehow they think this is protecting the consumer. There's good parts about this, which explains our obligations to you and vice versa, and talks about how we get paid. That's good. But the fact that they force you to sign it when you first see a property, that's not so good, in my opinion. So there's a lot to that document. The next part, commissions on the listing side. Now, to be clear, commissions have always been negotiable. You could have always sat down with me and said, Brian, I want you to sell my house and I want you to sell it for 1%. The answer would be no, but there was no legal obligation for me to say no. That was just a business choice on my end and Berkshire Hathaway's end. But there's always been discount brokers and whatnot in the marketplace. And you could have always said to anyone, hey, listen, I want you to only represent me on the seller side. I don't want to pay the buyer side commission. That was always a possibility too. Well, that's front and center now. So you may see it become semi-common. We don't really know yet how many people are going to take us up on this, where you don't pay the buyer's agent commission out of the seller's fees. So now, of course, I think our savvy Ocean City buyers would understand that, hey, if the seller is not giving 2.5% to my agent and I have to pay 2.5% to my agent, then guess what? I am going to make my offer 2.5% less. That will be the new world potentially. We don't anticipate a lot of changes with this in Ocean City, but it could be something we may run across. And then you, as a buyer, can say, hey, I don't even want to see properties if they're not paying your fee. That's all part of what goes into it. The other part of that, they've taken the part of the MLS that we as agents could see that showed us what the compensation was. They've taken that out of the MLS, meaning essentially that if you say you want to see 5 properties this Saturday, I have to call 5 different agents to ask them, are you offering a buyer's fee? Are you sharing commission with a buyer's agent? And if so, how much? And then I may come back to you and say, listen, 4 out of the 5 are paying our fee, and here's what it is in each case. But one of them is not. Do you still want to see that? If you had to pay our fee, do you want us to build it into the contract? There's a lot more to it than that. So that's the part. It's now out of the MLS because I guess that somehow makes it better for the consumer too, that we are literally selecting properties based on commission, based on phone calls. That's not what the spirit of it is, but that's what the reality is. So again, this is a bad situation all around. In addition, open houses, there's going to have to be a disclosure that says who they work for in the open house. And again, as I said, they should not be able to answer subjective questions, questions about the market, etc., unless you sign an agency agreement. Finally, well, two other parts. Next, seller's property condition disclosure is now required by law in New Jersey. I celebrate that. All you Pennsylvania people are used to those. They've never been required by law in New Jersey until now. So that's a great thing. Last part, designated agency. Okay, I'm getting really into the weeds again. Oftentimes, we are a disclosed dual agent. And the way that works in New Jersey, which is different than many other states, is that if Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Fox and Roach Realtors, lists a property and two agents from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services represent the buyer and seller, that is considered dual agency. To be clear, if an agent from Haddonfield, who I don't even know, although I know a lot of those guys, represents a buyer on a property I have listed in Ocean City, that is considered dual agency, which changes some of our fiduciary obligations. It didn't really make a lot of sense, but it's how New Jersey has been. Well, now they have introduced designated agency, meaning that, okay, you can choose, and the brokerage can choose to say, okay, Brian, you are representing buyer A on this property listed by somebody from our 34th Street office, by seller B, and you have the full fiduciary obligation to buyer A, and they have the full fiduciary obligation to seller B. So that's what it is. I can get more into the weeds on that if you want to. Point being, there's a lot of big changes going on right now. And most important of all, be careful what you sign, because I don't want to hear about one of my clients having to pay two commissions because they bought a property, a new home in Haddonfield, and they signed a random document in an open house in Ocean City, and that person's now coming after them for a commission. So you can thank your state legislature for this wonderful scenario they've put us in, but that's what we've got. I hope you enjoy the rest of summer here. The weather's been great this week, and I hope to talk to you soon.